Yeah, and that's why I think it's going to be all important for us to have a look at the maps, right? When we get towards that point, when we have a look to see what this best of 5 is going to look like, it's about whether or not these maps are going to be very similar to what we saw in the upper bracket final, right, Justin? Because that's where they have the information. And at that point, if it's relatively similar, then maybe they might be able to adjust a few things and get a few map victories where they didn't in the past.
Yeah, you get this far into the tournament. There's kind of no excuses for not playing good Halo at this point. You've had the entire tournament to get warmed up, talk about your plays with your teammates, and maybe rein in some of the mistakes that you're making earlier on in the tournament. In a grand final situation, you've just got to play to your absolute best of your ability, and the best of their ability for both of these teams is pretty damn good. So I'm excited to see what happens. But this first matchup, Strongholds Streets, then we go into Live Fire Slayer, Oddball Recharge. I reckon we're going all the way. I think we're seeing every single map this time around, and I'm loving the new King of the Hill. So hopefully we get all the way to Live Fire. Then we have Slayer on Catalyst, and it's gonna be a bloodbath. It's going to be back and forth. I hope you're comfortable. I'm comfortable in my chair. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to see 2 full best of 5 series. Let's do it.
Yeah, I really do feel like that this is going to be a very tightly contested kind of series. It is interesting that we don't have a CTF going in this first best of 5 here, Hooters, and I think that is a little bit of a caveat going that the fact that, you know, the Slayers have been so tight between both these teams, and I feel like, you know, from what we've seen in the past, maybe CTF might be able to be a bit of a stronger suit, and even, you know, for Divine Mind be able to sit back and watch that series, maybe they might have been able to pick apart a few of the things coming in from the Chiefs CTF. But going to be staying out here on Strongholds, and then there will be a King of the Hill a little bit later on, so that might be the best time for these guys to get all the information they need. But ladies and gentlemen, Grand Finals is about to start here. Let's jump into map number 1 on Streets.
Thanks, Luke. Yeah, we're excited to do this one, Justin. It's taken us a while, but we're finally here, and it's the 2 teams, like we said before, that we thought we would have, and God, it's exciting to have a series where you don't really know where it actually is going to go in the end. The Chiefs have obviously, for those joining us who might not be super familiar with the Australian region, the Chiefs have dominated ANZ since Halo Infinite has come out, winning every tournament they have played in, but for the first time they find themselves potentially not going in as favourites. So for them to be able to bounce back here and try and reset this bracket, it's going to be a big task, and then go through and have to obviously win that second bracket if they can do that former task is absolutely massive. But if there's one team that can do it, it certainly is the Chiefs. So we're just getting loaded in here. We've seen the player animation starting to load in. We should be jumping in just a second, Justin, but geez, Strongholds on Streets, it's one we haven't seen yet so far this evening, but really excited to see how this one goes. We do have BZIIRK here. We almost saw the remote detonation again coming up on the spike grenades, but not this time. BZIIRK here just hanging around these rockets, trying to get in position to pick them up. Unfortunately, Rated drops him. He's going to be able to pick them up, and Rated there putting in a double, and the Chiefs instantly going 4 down. So rockets will be in the hands of Divine Mind. They're going to be there with Rated, moving around this arcade area, and we do have the Chiefs starting to spawn around PD, but Justin, I think there was a bit of an invisible ledge that caught them there.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. You got to watch out for those invisible ledges. You will trip and fall. On board with Madsy, though, as he's capturing that B stronghold, and he doesn't quite get it. That was a bit weird. Just the absolute tiniest little sliver left. Wafer thin, but now the Chiefs are going to be putting some points onto the board. Fires off 1 rocket and connects. Very clean shot from the Shark himself with that rocket there, just launching it like a pontoon over into that enemy player. Now we have Swayz. He's been performing all night here, and a little bit of frustration there, shooting some ankles, and the cleanup comes through. Didn't even get the kill, Hoots. He only got the assist. A lot of effort to go for, but now Swayz doing everything that he can to grab this stronghold. Triple cap for Divine Mind. They may have been waiting on the sideline, but they were waiting and ready.
I got to say, shout out to Jackson in the chat. I just saw I missed an overkill in the kill feed there, so my apologies, but we did have an overkill, and I think it might have been from Rated at the start of the game there. So great effort there to pick up that overkill at the very beginning, going a long way to helping them establish some kind of map control here, as we do see Divine Mind pushing out to a bit of an early lead, but the Chiefs answering right back, taking point B and looking to take the lead back themselves as well. So a bit of a back and forth. Most of the Stronghold games we have seen so far, Justin, one team has jumped out to a pretty early lead, but neither team able to do that so far. I think these 2 teams are really evenly matched, and Divine Mind all 4 dead at that point. So now we see all 4 dead for Divine Mind, and the Chiefs are picking up the rockets. So a bit of a reversal of what we saw at the start of the game. And BZIIRK with those rockets is going to be able to look to just cause a bit of a disruption here, as we do have Rated and Plasma trying to take that C side. Long-range rocket isn't going to work, and they still can't tick over that C. They do just in those last seconds, but as soon as that happens, look at that, Chiefs swarming right in to try and take it back, but they will go 4 dead. So they're really trading blows here, Justin.
They certainly are. Now Swayz, he's got that stalker rifle. He did some damage with it a few maps ago, and he's got 1 rocket to play with as well. And now jiggle peeking that. I love that. Now changing positions, shooting down. He does get caught reloading by BZIIRK there and shut down. Slayz goes in for the cleaner. Divine Mind, they do have control of the map and getting some points onto the board. Here's a brawl over there in the cubby area, Hoots. It's a bit of mayhem. Rated doing very well, staying alive for his squad, grabbing himself a kill. Bait and switch with his boy. Pips taking him down there. Rated, he's fired up. Bit of body disrespect there, and Divine Minds have got an absolutely tiny little 2-point lead at the moment. Anybody's game at this point. Chiefs and Divine Mind going fully at it, and Divine Mind, you thought that maybe they'd come out a bit cold, having to wait in the sidelines, but no, they're ready, and right out of the gate, they're neck and neck.
Geez, Justin, this game, you could call it earlier that it could come right down to the wire, given that no team's been able to get in front by almost more than 10 points or so. We did have a triple cap for a second there for Chiefs, but they're going to Divine Mind get in and capture that C point back. But look at that, as soon as Swayz gets it, he has shots coming in on him, so they are held back in tram here. Beastn is getting in with the Bulldog there, doing a lot of work, putting a stop to Divine Mind pushing out. He's going to try and capture C. Unfortunately, can't do that, but there will need to be a reset on C. So Divine Mind getting sort of their backs against the wall right now a little bit. Slayz with the rocket launcher. I thought a long-range rocket would connect them. Didn't connect with anything, actually. So rockets down in PD court, but still Divine Mind managed to get this second cap point. Swayz just getting out of the way of that plasma grenade. Great reflexes there, getting away, managing to stay alive, and they're bringing this score back again, Justin. 63-82. They've got a little bit of time to make up, but right now it looks like Chiefs not really managing to get into any of these positions and contest, given that they are 3 down, almost 4 there. But luckily, I think that was BZIIRK comes up with a kill there.
Yeah, having a quick peek at the kill department, and we banged on about Swayz, but it does look like Plasma remote detonation on BZIIRK, but Plasma with 11 kills, and Slayz and BZIIRK in the double digits for the Chiefs boys. And there's Rated with that Sentinel beam, cleaning house, taking them out like they're the flood on installation 04, but he does go down, unfortunately. Scoreline is basically tied up, and Pip's doing everything that he can. He goes down. Caster's Curse is real now with BZIIRK, Mr. Lightheim himself, putting some pressure onto this A. Stronghold does get the reset there, and the Chiefs are scoring on the board, basically tied up. Anybody's game at this point. I didn't think it would be this close out of the gate, Hoots. This is insane.
Yeah, I mean, the time right now, 11:30 at night, getting close to midnight, but neither of these teams looking like they're low on the energy with the intensity they're playing with right now. Chiefs taking the lead now, 102-94, but you see Divine Mind starting to cap back A. Meanwhile, Chiefs say we'll take B, so it is just an absolute seesaw. It's kind of tricky to get any idea of which team's gaining some kind of momentum when they're going back and forth this much, Justin. But Chiefs getting a bit of time here, putting that separation on. They had that period mid-game where they put a bit of a gap between themselves and Divine Mind. Look at Slayz just get absolutely destroyed there by Divine Mind. The two players coming out and just putting the work in on them there. And so this should be a moment for Swayz to try and get in and get some kind of control here, but doesn't look like they've been able to do it. Instead, they prioritize the rockets, which is a smart move, but you've got to make sure you're not wasting them like he is there. The first one doesn't connect. Swayz shoots the second one, manages to pick up one on Madsy, and look at the thruster packs there just darting back and forth. The movement in this one, Justin's going crazy, but meanwhile, through all this chaos, Chiefs putting in a nice lead. 50 points. This is the biggest lead of the game.
It certainly is, and I mean, the last time I had my mouth flaps moving around commentating the game, it was tied up at like 94-94. So the Chiefs are starting to take control of this map, and there's still plenty of time left on the clock. You go, almost 6.5 minutes left for Divine Mind to bring things back if they want to. Beastn clearing house a little bit there, and now they're on the board getting some things going here. But I'd still say anybody's game at this point. I've said it about 15 times this game, Hoots, but I don't care. I'm going to keep saying it. Anybody's game, Hoots.
Yeah, but as soon as Divine Mind managed to pick up that A side, it was just taken away straight away by Beastn, so they can't really get any kind of long-term scoring going on here right now. They're capturing A, but meanwhile, look at that, Chiefs capture C, so a triple cap almost momentarily there. Really starting to get away from them now. Divine Mind not being able to really get any kind of control back, and Chiefs starting to really romp this one in now with a 100+ point lead as BZIIRK just running around like a madman. Plasma copping shots in PD. That'll be finished off by Madsy, you'd imagine, as he goes in to rack up that kill. You see the assist starting to register there. Yeah, Divine Mind need to do something quick, Justin. They're just not in any real position, though, it looks like, to get control. They've been too dead for most of the game now.
Yeah, his scoreline is starting to bloat out a little bit. The Chiefs all the way in 200s, and Divine Mind yet to crack into the triple digits, so in a little bit of trouble at the moment. BZIIRK, that was very dirty from him, gets rewarded with the bulldog into his back pocket and instantly thinking about those rockets as well. It does seem like BZIIRK is always very cognizant of when my pronunciation is just off the charts there, Hoots. Bloody hell, that was shocking. Anyway, what I was trying to say was BZIIRK is always ready for those rockets when they're popping, making sure that he's contesting them and making them available for his team, whether or not they're getting burnt or his teammates manage to grab them. But looking at this, to the Chiefs only need 11 more points to be able to put this one in the bag. So Divine Mind, they do currently have control, and it's going to take one hell of a run to get them back into this game, Hoots.
They managed to put on about 20 points now, so they're doing the right thing. Chiefs haven't been in a position to really cap any of the points through this period. So look, they've done the right thing. They're actually pushing for a triple cap, so they're trying to overextend, but it's because they know C is being taken. So look at that. They lose C, but they're going to take A. I don't mind that. The Chiefs now stuck in back tram. So they've gone on a nice run here, Justin. They've brought it back to about a 100-point gap. Still a long way to go, and I think the thing that's we need to be most conscious of is Chiefs only need that 11 points, so they don't have many mistakes to play with Divine Mind, but they certainly aren't going out without a fight, and this is a bit of a message potentially into game 2. If they were to lose this one, saying, yeah, you're right, you might have got us, but it wasn't a blowout. Look at that. They're losing A, but they cap C, so they're rotating really well here, down to about a 70-point gap now, so keeping themselves in it. It's we still haven't seen, this C point looks like it's now being taken, so potentially with 2 dead, Divine Mind now really with their backs up against the wall. This C point is going to be captured. They need to make a move ASAP. Pip moving into Tram here on C is not going to be in position to do it, and I think that's going to be the Chiefs potentially putting it in, as we do see Plasma dropped there in C, but look at the just manic running around. They'll take anything they can get right now, Divine Mind, but they're putting themselves in a difficult position to do so, and Chiefs will take this opening game. So what looked like a stomping became a bit more respectable towards the end, 250 to 163, Justin, but Chiefs doing everything they need to do to try and get this bracket reset and do it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and you know what? The Chiefs, they didn't panic. They had a pretty strong lead, but probably my analysis is that they were probably like, hey boys, we really only need one more rotation to win this. No desperating, don't just launch in there. We'll coordinate our push, we'll get a couple of hills, and we'll take this map. And they managed to do it because they used that buffer that they'd built themselves up to really coordinate that final push. They got it over the line, but Divine Mind did mount a pretty decent comeback, a 60-ish point run when they had their backs up against the wall. Pretty decent from them, so don't count them out just yet, but we're on track for that bracket reset. I can feel it in my loins, Hoots. It's coming.
It's worth mentioning, I think, BZIIRK in particular. He was struggling in the early games against Divine Mind in that first series they played, and even a little bit initially against Digital Nation. But towards the end of that Digital Nation series, he started to step up. And in this game here, I think he maybe went -1 or maybe just went even, but he put in a heap of assists. So BZIIRK starting to heat up a little bit. So that's good news for the Chiefs, because he probably was in that initial series their weakest player against Divine Mind. So if he can start to turn it around Now, given how close that initial series was, then maybe we can start to see Chiefs' fortunes change a little bit. But, that's a scoreboard item to keep your eye on, I think. I mean, look, we spoke about it. The Chiefs really did put on about a 100-point uncontested run, and that was the difference maker in the end. Divine Mind, I like the fact that they didn't give up at the end, Justin, that they kept fighting and they managed to bring it back, make it a little bit more respectable. But, it could have been a lot more brutal. The fact that Divine Mind, towards right near the end, hadn't even cracked 100 points. They still managed to go on about a 70-point or so run, make it a bit better. But, there's still a nice statement from the Chiefs to open this one up. And now we start to move towards Slayer on live fire, which I don't know if this is a game type we've had yet tonight, Justin, but that's the beauty now of having more game types, more maps in the rotation for HCS, is that we can have a bit more variety and that there's, we're not playing on streets every second game like we used to be. It makes it a lot easier to watch and a lot easier to cast as well.
And we're into this second seasons of the HCS in ANZ, so good stuff from him. But I mean, you highlighted 3 Divine Minds players up in that top 5 in the KD department. That's a stat line that you want to have. Print that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, I mean, just the separation of Swayz between everyone below him is just massive. It's like 0.33 on a KD is a massive difference in overall kills and deaths. So it's no surprise when we've seen the fact that in a couple of Slayers, he's got 25 kills and I think 23 or something like that. So, almost half his team scored, just doing absolute work. He's been a joy to watch so far, really. We are getting back into Slayer on live fire here. As we spoke about before, if you just joined us, Chiefs took the first game, trying to reset the bracket here in the grand final so they can then force a decisive final best of 5 bracket. But we're just loading in here right now, and we love the OS. We got the snipe. We've got the repulsor where people are just throwing themselves around the map. There's a lot of stuff to like on this one, Justin. We're going to be able to see who can establish some kind of map control at the start and try and race out to an early lead. Players are loading in, and we're going to see off the top jumping on board with Pips. And I hate when they're running into a wall because I think they're lagging out, but he's grabbing that PP because he wants to get down and start melting some shields early. We're seeing a real push for this heat wave, and shoots an attempted there at Beastn but doesn't connect. It's a much harder one to control or get hits on in Halo Infinite than in previous Halo titles. Instead, we'll move over to BZIIRK. This OS is popping its head. Beautiful nade there on Plasma. So Chiefs really pushing hard on this OS, trying to deal with Rated, but the support there coming from Tower, from Divine Mind, really strong. 2 down, 3 down for Chiefs now. They should be in a position to grab this OS. I think Madsy's the last one alive to put a stop to that. I'm not sure who managed to actually pick that one up. We're not on board with anyone that's wearing it right now. It's not in Swayz's back pocket, it doesn't look like, but there we go.
Who was that?
I think that was Pips. I could just waiting for the text to stop blowing. Pips manages to pick up that first kill with it, still has a fair bit of shield left, and that's what's so important, Justin. You can take those hard hits and be able to push out so recklessly like that. 8 kills to 4. Divine Mind jumping out, doubling the Chiefs' score, but it is very early days. That OS is worn out, but it's enabled them to get a nice jump here, and with this heat wave, Pip's starting to move into Garage, see if he can do some work nice and close range.
Yeah, it's not a bad start from them. They managed to get 1 full round of Slayz with that OS. Now on board with Beastn. He does have that montage maker in hand, looking to find some faces. Pips is just lurking behind the boxes. We know that he's there, but Beastn doesn't, and not able to connect on that. Hits the body. The assist comes in. Beastn slamming a fresh mag into the sniper. Why? Ready to connect on a shot, and I love this. So much confidence to just hold his ground, trusting his teammates that they're holding those players back so he can peek, and he grabs the ankle, taking him down, and Beastn running out into the brutes, looking for some fresh angles, and now rotating through. I like that he's not shy. He's getting up in there, down and dirty. Beastn wanting to win this game for his squad, drops the grunt, down on the ground, survives, gets a melee off as well, doing everything that he can to put damage down on the map. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, fantastic work. All that time, though, he was causing distractions, but Divine Mind was able to keep and put on a little bit of a lead here of 2 kills, even without that sniper in their hands. Pip here getting stuck, managing good job to stay alive there and doing damage, somehow picking up a kill, almost got a double there. He should have been dropped easily, had no shields then. Great job staying alive and even picking up one himself to break even their Plasma with this heat wave. So damaging down below, Justin, with close quarters. You can get so many of those ricocheted shots connecting on, but now we have a snipe in the hands of Plasma, hanging out down at OS. Nice little snipe there with the quick scope. on Beastn that was at back tower. Now he's able to push up through the sneaky. New snipe's actually up in 15, so we still have this other snipe. It is empty now, though, so there's not going to be any more sniping until that new one pops up. But Plasma, great job staying alive. 5 kill gap now, Justin, for Divine Mind.
Yeah, 5 kill gap, but we haven't even hit the halfway point, so it is pretty scrappy back and forth at this point. No standout players just yet. We have got raided with that commando. He's backed off a little bit there. He's called out and cleaned up now with BZIIRK, and he's got that commando he's picked up off Raided's cold dead body. Plasma in a bit of a precarious situation. He does manage to grab himself a trade, though, in a 3v1 situation. That is the best that you can hope for. And now still with BZIIRK, he's still alive, trying to put some damage for his teammates, and they're 4 kill lead at the moment, kind of fragile, only 1 round of Slayz, but it looks like they are setting up for that fresh overshield. About 20 seconds till that pops. Swayz with a fresh sniper rifle. We've seen him put some montage making clips up on stream so far tonight. We'll have to see if he can do it again. He's hungry for it. So much confidence, and they're moving out, getting set up for this OS. And Swayz, he says, my name's on that one, boys. It's in the fridge. It's labeled. It's mine. Stay away.
Oh, and connecting with the body shot there as well on Slayz, and the kill gets picked up by Pips. This overshield, they're in a great position to pick this up. Divine Mind, they're fighting over it almost, repulsing each other away from it. But I feel this OS is going to be really crucial in allowing Divine Mind to now put on a really big gap. And given we are at this 31 kill mark for them, they've almost got a 10 kill lead. This could be the thing that puts the distance between them and Chiefs to really start to get this one home. So Plasma just running around, but Divine Mind, Chiefs doing a good job putting a bit of distance, but a nice double kill there, able to put in from Plasma. And then we have as well, it's going to be just Chief players dropping everywhere. And I think the last one there is Beastn. He's dropped as well by Raided. So that was a perfect sweep there, Justin. And look at this, 14 kills it's now blown out to. That OS, he didn't actually really use it like you would an OS in terms of just putting his head down and charging in. But I think the fact that they had it, he was able to get a great flank on, move really freely, and just start to rack up kills here. And this is blown out super quickly. 15 kill lead now for Divine Mind. This is a real statement coming off that previous Strongholds game.
Divine Mind just looking so strong, and I love that amount of pressure that they had on that snipe tower as well, Hoots. They just hitting it from every angle. There was just nothing the Chiefs guys could do. And look at this Swayz.
Yeah.
There's so much confidence. He knew there was at least 2 players there, yet he jumps out one shot, gets a clean up, and survives. And look at that, and grabs himself another one. 43-26. It is absolutely blowing out Swayz. 12 kills to his name. Everyone on Divine Mind is performing. Pips being the absolute assist machine that he is. Raided, bagging himself another one. Divine Mind says angry. Who kicked the hornet's nest?
The dog is out of the cage with Swayz. He's let it out like he said he would. Going 12-5 with 7 assists. Absolutely huge. This one's almost over. This is going to be another stake. This is the 3rd stake Divine Mind has had tonight. I think if they can get 1 kill before Chiefs manage to get 3, but I reckon they're going to be, if they're going at this rate, they definitely will be able to do it. This has just been a real turn of events, Justin. This was a close match, and then finally we see the 3rd stake of the night for Divine Mind. Protein loading after a big night in the gym. That's one way to come back and say, no, we're not going to a bracket reset here. We're going to close this out here and now. 1-1 in the series, moving into Oddball Recharge.
That is very spicy, but you know what this reminds me of? If you ever go on YouTube and you watch those slapping competitions where they just try like 2 big buff guys are sitting across from each other and they just trade monstrous
belting
slaps.
The life out of each other.
That's what this series is planning out to be. So my prediction is the next matchup, the Chiefs is going to come out and they're going to have a big open-handed slap ready for Divine Minds. But credit where credit's due. That's a steak dinner in a grand final situation. Divine Mind really showing up to play tonight, Hoots.
Man, it's just been throughout the night, it's been different players who've stood up at different times for Divine Mind, and I guess that's no surprise why we saw 3 of their players in the top 5 in terms of kill deaths for tonight. It's just, the different ones are stepping up when they need to. I think, probably Swayz has been the most consistent, but I think on this game it was Raided who just went really crazy. We saw Pips going crazy in one of the first series we were casting. So that just shows the versatility on the team of different players being able to step up when required. It's so valuable for teams rather than relying on one person in particular. So I didn't think after that first game we'd see a crushing flip like that, given that most of the games in the first series that we had between the Chiefs and Divine Mind were so even. But to turn around and do that, that's a massive statement there. And we did say once they got that, pretty much the last overshield, I think it was, things just turned then and there, and they just went on a tear. And I think the Chiefs only really managed to put on about 10 kills when Divine Mind put on 30. So that's just a massive change of momentum there that they rode all the way home.
Yeah, and the Chiefs, are they going to be able to bounce back from it? My gut says that they will be able to, but Divine Minds have got to be feeling good after that, and they're a very confidence-orientated squad, it seems like, and when they're playing how they want to play and they're feeling good, they're unstoppable. So if they can carry that through into the next game, then you better watch out if you're a Chiefs fan. But we are moving into Oddball on Recharge, so it's very different map, very different game type, and a good opportunity for the Chiefs to hit the old reset button with the round-based system as well. So this one could go the distance.
Yeah, perhaps it was the game that Divine Mind needed to warm back up after having to sit out through that Chiefs and Digital Nation series when we did have a couple of disconnects and everything like that as well. So they were cooling down. They took a bit of time. We did see towards the end of that Strongholds on Streets, they started to build a little momentum back. And then once they came here on Slayer Live Fire, it was just all guns blazing straight through. So maybe they're warmed up again now, Justin, and that they're looking to close this out in just 2 more games. Oddball Recharge. If they win this, we go into a King of the Hill on live fire, which we're really keen to see. So we're going to see that regardless, which is great now that we know this series isn't going to be a sweep. But yeah, I was really impressed by that one, as like I said before, that it wasn't just the usual suspects dominating with Swayz on the scoreboard there. There was a lot of diversity coming through in terms of the guys who were contributing to the score. So Oddball on Recharge next. Looking forward to it. We're just getting the game started up now, but great to have everyone here with us, seeing the numbers starting to go up and up as well on the broadcast as more of you are waking up, and as well as our friends in Australia and New Zealand are staying awake as well. Seeing some interesting stuff coming through on the chat. It's hard to know what exactly you guys are talking about when I do look through, but I think I've got an idea what throat goat is, and so our hopes and prayers are with Onset, hoping he's feeling a bit better with his sore throat from his broadcast in NA last week. But good to see chat's liking that one and keeping nice and active. We love seeing that. We are just loading in now to map 3. Divine Mind, a big statement just before, Justin, and looking to try and continue that into Oddball on Recharge.
Yeah, exciting stuff, and we are going to be launching straight into this one, folks. Thanks for bearing with us and being ever so patient as we get the games going. Launching things off with BZIIRK as he's launching grenades across the map. Plasma sneaking away with that camo. He's got to win this 1v1. BZIIRK shutting him down in that situation. Critical kill for the guys on Chiefs, but BZIIRK's not done. He's going in for a second. Pips in a very sticky situation, but he does manage to survive. The team help does come through. Raider doing everything he can, but he falls as well. Now Slayz in the pipes. That I don't think that shock rifle has been scooped up just yet, and Swayz going, you know what, I'm not ready to go in there yet, boys, and yeets himself out of there with that grapple shot. Great use of the equipment on the map to stay alive there, Hoots.
Yeah, absolutely. Love the way he's able to traverse the map and just get straight through the door so quickly using the shock rifle. Didn't realize there was a player behind him as well. So great work there. I think that was actually a double picked up there by Swayz whilst providing that support. 4 dead for Chiefs. This is a time to grab the ball now. Divine Mind, come on, there they go. They've managed to pick it up and start to make a move now. I think they're moving it over to A or into gold. I'm not 100% sure yet, but they do have the, yeah, so we're in the gold door here. So nice work trying to get that a bit of time on the board after getting that 4 down. You may as well capitalize when you are able to do that, especially in Oddball. And we do see that a lot of the time here in ANZ, teams take a long time to grab that ball at the beginning. Nice work though of Chiefs to be able to come in and pretty much just take over this setup here. 3 down for Divine Mind. Plasma, the last one alive. Swayz jumping out to an earlier lead. He maybe heard some of the props we were giving to people like Rated in the last game, Justin, and he's saying, no, I'm going to go back and be the lead Slayer here. Doing a very good job there. 5 kills, 2 deaths. But we do see Divine Mind able to get back into top gold pretty easily. Met without very little resistance. So coming straight in, Chiefs 2 down, 3 down now for Chiefs. I think we got the last player's Madsy at top 8, but he's nowhere near the ball, so they're going to be able to get a lot more time here. 22 seconds to 12, a 10-second lead in this opening round to Divine Mind. Swayz with the ball.
Yeah, good opportunity to go on a pretty healthy run as well. They do have a gold control currently. Not a lot of ways to play that ball as well. You know, it can be a bit of a trap sometimes, but Divine Mind, they seem to be doing pretty well, keeping things on lock, but that ball does get thrown out. Baited a little bit here. Plasma getting the better of Swayz in that. The Slayz is in that situation. The body disrespect is real. You got to let him know, Plasma. You got to let him know. Amazing stuff from him. And Divine Minds, they got a small, fragile lead currently as we get started in this first round of Oddball. And Beastn doing everything that he can, but you can't fool Plasma. He just waited. He lined things up. It's like, yeah, you can jump around like Spider-Man all day, mate, and I'll just take off your head. A bit of how you going in, more body disrespect. And he is just shooting gallery, taking out everyone like he's trying to win his girlfriend a big teddy at the local fair. And Plasma feeling good, looking good, almost on 10 kills already.
Oh, yeah, it couldn't happen on that last one, but geez, he's wasted. It's going to be hard to look at the accuracy after the game because he's wasted so many bullets just shooting dead players there. He went on an absolute tear, 9 and 3, and look at the scoreboard. Look at how Divine Mind were able to just convert that into a huge chunk of time with the Oddball there, while we just had Plasma going absolutely nuts. Swayz working in tandem with him as well. We are going to have now 2 down for Divine Mind, so Chiefs need to start making a move on this ball because Divine Mind were able to put on such a big jump on them. Then the toss goes up there. Slayz is killed for that attempt, but he at least gets it to Madsy in top goal. Madsy's now going to try and move it over to away, but smart move here. He knows he's got that shock rifle. Move back because that's where the players are coming from. On long haul, nice no scope there, and going for the second one as well. On rated, doesn't get it, but pushes him back more importantly. So we have Chiefs now with a nice setup hanging around the A side here, and look at all the Divine Mind guys. They're down low around camo. They're over on long haul. They're not really in a position to stop this ball, but at the same time, Chiefs aren't really grabbing the ball either, so they're not converting this dominance into time. They do manage to pick it up again with Swayz dropped, and we have the rest of Divine Mind hanging over around near the top gold and long haul area, apart from Plasma, who's making a cheeky little push over. I don't know how Swayz managed to get there, Justin, but this is good from Chiefs. They've managed to bring this back, only down now by about 23 seconds. The lead had blown out quite a bit about 50 seconds beforehand with Divine Mind, but Chiefs very methodical here right now, it seems. They're slowly slaying, grabbing the ball when required, and they have a pretty good setup here, although Plasma's looking to say something a little bit different.
Yeah, playing very patiently and not overextending themselves too much. Just going, hey, we need picks before we can do anything, and not chasing down kills that they don't need to. Scoreline is 61-48. Anybody's game at this point. Back on board with Plasma. He finds himself one blocking off that angle with a few grenades. Pips has got the ball. He's getting some pressure applied to him by Slayz, and I love that play ball by Plasma, and then he gets the stick as well. That's what we want to see in a grand final situation. BZIIRK responding with a kill of his own, scooping up that Oddball to get some points for the Chiefs squad, and he's just juggling that through like he's playing soccer at the World Cup. Moves it through, but Pips comes in with the collapse. That ball in a very vulnerable position right now. BZIIRK doing everything that he can to stay alive. He does go down. Everyone's dying left, right, and center. Hoots, I can't keep up.
Yeah, I think this is the last one though, and it's going to be Madsy. He almost got the repulsion off. I think he actually might have. So Swayz is the last guy left. He should be play balling this right now because he's not really in a position. Why not send both the ball and the opponent over the edge as well? Great work there by Swayz. He's up to 14 kills now, leading all comers, but BZIIRK is going to be in a position to pick up this play ball. Chiefs have been in great positions the last 2 times it's play balled actually to pick this up, and Madsy now with this camo is going to be crucial as well. He is getting hit from behind, but he's managed to stay alive. I'm not sure where those shots were actually coming from and that they couldn't be finished. Picks up a kill on Plasma. Chiefs now trying to just get back in this a little bit. Divine Mind picked up a nice little chunk of ball time there, getting it up to 30 seconds. A 20-second gap, and Justin, we start to look at the game timer now. 50 seconds left in this round. While the ball isn't held, that timer keeps going down. So Chiefs need to get a couple of kills, get a setup, try and get this lead back, and then consider whether they try and milk the timer off. That melee there not connecting for Madsy. Unfortunately, the ledge getting in the way, and this is working out perfectly for Divine Mind. While this timer keeps ticking down, they're happy to sit away from the ball.
Yeah, Madsy, he had that camo and he used the timer completely up, but he was kind of shut down. He was contained in one area. The shark was in the aquarium, not in the open ocean. He's taken down. Lovely double kill from Pips there to open up the map for his teammates. And look at this, 20 points the difference, 10 seconds to go. Divine Minds, they just have to keep Chiefs away from it. Hands off, boys, keepings off. And here we go. Does look like Divine Mind is going to take round one. That felt like forever, Hoots. That was just back and forth. And that first round going 100% of the distance in the time-up with Divine Mind. 1 round in favor, but anybody's game at this point. I think Hoots is just so back and forth.
I really like that play from Divine Mind. I think they timed it perfectly to get a big enough lead that they were then comfortable to just sit off the ball and try and guard it. Sometimes it's hard and you lose track of all those different things that are going on in the game, of the fact you're losing, you've got camo you have to worry about, and there's a game timer, but they were really conscious of the game timer the whole time, and they did that absolutely perfectly. I don't think they could have done that any better. So great work from Divine Mind, being conscious of knowing when to not pick up that ball and let the timer drop down. On board with Rated here. He's just hanging around on the sneaky ledge here and just trying to break some ankles here on Madsy. Can't connect on any of his shots. A little bit sloppy there. Fortunately, unable to pick up at least one of the kills there and get a trade. Madsy, great job staying alive there. Shots on Plasma. Nice team shots coming across Guardian Angel, which we love to see, Justin. Still, no one picking up the ball yet, and we've had about a minute of time go by in this round. So, again, we've seen this quite a bit. Teams just waiting to get at least a couple of Slayz before making a move on the ball. And I think Slayz is going to do it now, picking it up, but instantly regretting that decision, dropped straight away. And yeah, team's probably not too keen to get their hands on it if it's going to equal instant death.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't be going in there, Hoots. I'd be baiting my teammate and say, bro, yeah, you're totally safe to pick up the oddball. I got 2 picks. Go for it. It's just sitting in the corner. I have a feeling that one might time out and reset over, but we are on board with Slayz, and from the Chiefs boys. He does find Pips kind of caught unaware. He's smacking the pipes a little bit there. Not sure what's going on here. Hopefully not another lagger, although Pips has been known to do weird things on the map. So, he might have like an itchy arm or something. It was just hitting the wall with his other hand while he was having a bit of a back scratch or something. But we are now on board with Beastn, and he's surveying the map, choosing his options, going, boys, what do we do here? We've got the oddball, we're racking up some points, we're 1 round down. What do we do? And look at this push coming in. The assist does come out of Slayz, though, able to clean that one up. And Slayz
don't know what's going on. I think he thinks there's
shooting the map.
No, I think he thinks there's a camo guy there. You saw he put the ping through because he was seeing if the ping would actually say that there was a player there. But yeah, I was a bit worried for a second there, Justin, with Pips meleeing the wall for no reason, but I think you're right, just having a bit of a Pips moment maybe. And so this game is still very much alive and kicking. We do have the Chiefs have broken out to a nice lead, so potentially Pips should maybe focus on shooting enemies rather than meleeing pipes. But the ball has reset, is back down at bottom batteries. No one really looking like they're making a move for it just yet, as there's a bit of fighting going on around top goal. Madsy gets dropped, so now we might have Plasma in a position to make a move on this if he can just get rid of BZIIRK, which he does. So 3 down, in a position now to take the ball. Just need to get it up top. We have Chiefs spawning over at top goal. I like those prediction nades from Plasma. He definitely would have connected with at least one of them. So BZIIRK's coming through to help on this bottom gold stairs, but look at the shots coming straight away, keeping him at bay. And I love the teamwork here coming out from Divine Mind, although Chiefs managed to take a 2-for-1 trade here, so they have the number advantage in these gold pipes and the lead as well of about 20 points. So BZIIRK now picking up for the Chiefs, putting a bit more time in. They want to take this second round and force us to a game 3, but yeah, it's getting a bit scrappy right now, Justin. No team really able to set up a solid amount of control.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And while things are scrappy, let's have a look at the kills and deaths department. Swayz already on 25, but Pips, he just seems to be consistently picking up huge amounts of assists. I think he's top scored.
And consistently smashing pipes.
He certainly is. That's his specialty, making sure the map knows who's boss. And on the other side of things, we have Madsy and Beastn dropping 20 bombs each, respectively. Oh, Swayz with some dirt for you. He putting some dirt in your eye on that one, and he gets rewarded with a camo going Predator mode with that shock rifle as well. Almost cops a plasma grenade to the foot, but does manage to dodge it. Doesn't connect on the headshot. That looks pretty clean to me, Hoots. I feel like he was robbed in that situation, but Swayz just so confident moving around the map.
He got the kill.
That is very odd.
Madsy.
I think Madsy knew, and it's like, oh, that was a headshot.
I'll just jump off the map.
Jumped off the map for him. That's, you know, what a gentleman. Everyone says that Madsy is a good guy, and that's just an example of that. Swayz with a double kill, triple kill is there if he wants it. Kind of disappointing he didn't connect on that one. But moving
Look at the ball time.
The ball time is just cranking up right now. We're all tied up, but Swayz just cracked into 30 kills, Hoots.
Wow, yeah. I mean, you just saw what he was able to do with the camo then, and just putting so much pressure on Chiefs, whether he was dropping people or hitting body shots like there, and just able to keep them at bay. 3 down, 4 down for Divine Mind. But look what Divine Mind were able to do while that was going on. They've managed to take the lead up by 10 seconds now. So Chiefs, they really needed to do a bit of a squad wipe there, which they were able to do. They're now set up. Looks like bottom elevator is where the ball's sitting, if the HUD's sort of correct there. But, you know, Divine Mind being kept over around this top cubby area, and really great team shot there coming through. 2 down for Chiefs right now. And it looks like the ball's going to be almost play ball down to the bottom there, in the hope that the Divine Mind squad can't make an easy run at picking that up. Plasma managing to stay alive. Great work. They're getting around the corner. While this is happening, he pops back out and gets the kill, Justin. That's huge. Pips has the ball as well. Starting to press away here. 65, just holding on, keeping crouched. But look at the squad coming through here. Divine Mind just rolling through. BZIIRK picks up a double. Triple as well, if the timer will let him. Doesn't get it, but it's the mind that gap. Still gets the kill. Pay it. We love to do that, even if it might not be an actual triple. Absolutely, but this one's coming really close, Justin. Almost 65 all now. Tied up. Chiefs taking the lead as they're starting to hold this at bottom blue. Ball goes off. I don't know if anyone is in a position for Divine Mind to capture this, but they do have the camo, so they're going to be able to put a stop to any kind of ball pull if Swayz is so inclined to look towards there. But more conscious of trying to stop this push across to gold. There's multiple players actually for Chiefs stuck over at A, and you can see 3 down now. BZIIRK, last player alive. Pips, if he just tosses the ball up there, manages to actually stay alive in gold. 4 dead. This is huge, Justin, now. So Divine Mind bringing this lead out a little bit more, and I love this setup they've got here. Chiefs really need to start rushing over. Coming off the spawn here, still Slayz down. So they're 3 men up, 1 down. But look at this, only 15 seconds left, Justin.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. Divine Mind's poised to take out map number 2, and Raider doing everything that he can. Pips has got his mitts on the ball. Only a few seconds left. If you're a Divine Minds fan, you'll be rising out of your seat with a crisp "let's go," and they're going to be able to take away that one, Hoots. Danger Zone Chiefs.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, only 1 game away now for Divine Mind to take this out, and despite Pips smashing some pipes there, they still managed to come out with the win. And yeah, geez, it was just another case as well of Swayz just going absolutely crazy, as we've come to expect. But yeah, you know, even when Chiefs got that good jump of about 30 points to nothing in that opening, the start of that second round, they were still able to just bring that back, which is, you know, got to fill them with an absolute heap of confidence. And you know, we had Plasma as well that was just putting in a lot of dirty work in that first round as well. So Plasma and Swayz, the 2 stars, I think, on Divine Mind there, Justin, putting in a lot of work, and yeah, fantastic effort for them to bring that one home. 2-1, looking to close this out now, moving on to King of the Hill Livefire.
Yeah, and you know what? Divine Mind playing some pretty spicy Halo hoots. They're playing really, really well, and Chiefs, you know, they're not struggling, but it just doesn't seem like they have a lot of control. They seem to be on the back foot quite a lot, and have to respond to when Divine Mind is firing on all cylinders. They just seem to be so confident and comfortable on the map. They're shooting bodies. Pips is taking, you know, breaks to, you know, tell the map who's boss. You know, he respawns on the map, it doesn't respawn him, you know, that kind of thing. And the highlight reel that is Swayz, I think he dropped something like 36 kills that round.
Yeah,
that was just absolutely dirty work from him. Love that grenade from Beastn there. That was pretty tasty. But where's this triple kill from BZIIRK? That's what I want to see. That was
right here.
That was very clever. See you, mate.
Oh my god.
You're gone.
Yeah,
well, they were quickly
unfortunate
flashing it because they didn't want to show the triple kill medal that definitely came up.
Yeah, no, look, great effort by the Chiefs there. They really, the Divine Mind squad, sorry, they really have found their straps, it looks like, in these last two games, doing a fair bit of domination, both in the Slayz and the objective work. And King of the Hill on live fire, I think we've seen them a few King of the Hills earlier, and they were quite dominant in those ones. So coming up against the Chiefs in this game type, as we spoke about before, it's a map that, you know, when they played Slayer on live fire before, they clearly knew what they were doing when it comes to live fire, just, you know, controlling power-ups, controlling power weapons, and just roaming around the map like madmen. So with King of the Hill, you got to be a bit more static, I guess. You can't be moving around as freely, given you have to hold that particular location to score. But the way they were able to control it on the previous Slayer game when we were at live fire, you know, I think I'd be putting my money on them to take this out and actually close this out, Justin, which is crazy to say that you're expecting someone to be knocking the Chiefs off in a grand final, but here we are.
Yeah, it's a weird world that we live in, but that's what happens with roster mania. Things just get shuffled around, and it's a good opportunity for the new cream to rise up to the top. And we are going to be launching into this next one as soon as possible, everyone. If you don't know, Australian internet runs like this. You get an emu and you get a kangaroo and you get a USB stick and put it in a rusty can of baked beans, and then they run across the borderlines to transfer data. That's how it works here. And it's nothing we could do about it. So
greatest country in the world.
Greatest country in the world. Crappy internet though. That's really unfortunate. But we'll launch into it as soon as possible and bring you all the actions in this grand final. But Divine Mind, they're looking so strong, Hoots. I'm loving everything that I'm seeing, and I'm loving that it's fresh blood that we're talking about. You know, for so many years you're always highlighting the same players, and we had that, you know, the time of Barcode, but he's leaving us. He's going. He's gone.
You're saying it's confirmed?
I don't know. I'm speculating. He's gone somewhere. That's accurate.
He's not here. He's not here.
He's
so he's somewhere.
He's somewhere else. He's playing Minesweeper on a Windows 98 PC somewhere, trying to get the top score on that one. We are going to be launching into it, and King of the Hill live fire, and you highlighted before, Divine Mind was pretty dominant the last time we saw them on live fire, so perhaps they are going to be the most comfortable into this map moving forward, Hoots.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's where I'd be sort of thinking we'd be in terms of this. Like, yeah, they were just so dominant the last time we saw them. They kept it close at the start with the Chiefs, but then they just hit the burner. It was just one OS that made all the difference, and they went absolutely crazy. And so, you know, that's what we've been saying a few times tonight, Justin, is that with the OS being significantly more powerful than it was in Season 1, there's so much more emphasis placed on it. And the kind of damage you can do when you pick that up and break setups and set up setups for yourself is just so crucial. So we're starting off here. We do have 2 down for each team, 3 down for Chiefs at the start, and we're looking with this hill now spawning in, but Swayz picking up this snipe and getting a nice body shot there, dropping Slayz. That's a good way to start things off, putting in a bit of work with that snipe. The OS is about to pop in a second. Madsy actually picks it up, but isn't able to put it in. He's sniped just before popping it in and trying to lay up the final snipe there. Is Swayz unable to do it, but the OS does go in instead to Plasma. So Divine Mind take it out of Madsy's hand, put it in themselves, and the snipe's now going to be in the hands of them as well if they want to go and pick that up. Plasma, OS, and snipe, very dangerous combo. Look how he can just stand there, Justin, and take shots without having to back up. He's taken down eventually, but that is I thought it was a 2-for-1 trade, but actually the Chiefs managed to only lose 1 kill in that. So OS kind of negated somewhat there, but meanwhile we should be focusing on the hill. Divine Mind got a little bit of a lead at the start, but the Chiefs are in there now, starting to get some time themselves, pretty even on this opening hill.
Yeah, certainly is. Very scrappy off the rip so far. Now with Beastn switching over to Rated. He's got that heat wave. Here comes the collapse, the one-man collapse. taking these players out, took them to the cleaners, hot water cycle, get those crisp, tasty cricket whites. Amazing stuff from him. And he's just holding down the fort all on his lonesome. Didn't need any help. Raided turning up for his squad. Only 3 kills on the board so far, but all in this map. So in this hill rotation so far, almost sends Beastn off the map there. Amazing stuff from Raided. He just seems to be comfortable to do whatever he wants on the map there, Hoots.
Yeah, so we'll have Beastn jumping back into this hill now, trying to get a little bit more score. They are pretty even right now. Obviously, we don't really have a second timer down there. We just can only go off those bars. So looking with our nice crisp eyes, we can hope that they are pretty much even, which is what we want going into this series here right now. We have 2 players stacking in for Divine Mind into the hill, although neither of them are actually in there right now. They're right on the edge. I love these nades coming across, almost just evaporating that OS. In fact, it does go away, and jumping out with the heat wave, they managed to get the takedown, and that's actually 4 down. So this is a really crucial time for Divine Mind. Get in that hill, and they can actually close this one out and get this opening point, because I can't see where the Chiefs players are spawning. It is in garage there, so they're able to get a fair chunk, getting pretty close, but they're pushed out mostly as well. So spreading out, trying to get some shots in garage to stop Chiefs getting in there. Hill is still being controlled by Divine Mind. Only a few seconds left now, 2 or so seconds left, and they are going to take this opening point. So they have opening point here, first to 4, as we said before, as we move this hill over to bottom tower now. And look, it is Divine Mind already in position to start to cap early. I like this move by Pip, jumping up top, knowing he's going to be able to lay a lot of fire down on long haul there, and just moving out. Unfortunately getting dropped because we do have players coming through mud for Chiefs. 2 down for Divine Mind, but neither team really able to establish any control on the hill right now, Justin.
No, and I think that previous hill, I did see a lot of the Chiefs pushing in one player at a time, trying to break that setup, trying to be a hero, and just getting shut down, and that just translated to Divine Mind comfortably grabbing that first hit. Now Beastn with that AR, pushing that player back. Yeah, you got to get a little bit of AR action every now and then. That full auto coming in. Hello, Halo gods.
I don't think he didn't land enough shots then in the AR. He needed more. I think he thought he'd done more than he actually had.
I'm not sure. That's totally taken me out of it, Hoots. I've lost my train of thought. I was very surprised by that. But train of thought, no, doesn't matter, because the OS has just jumped up. Good opportunity for the Chiefs to scoop that one up and get themselves back into this game. I can't wait to see who manages to grab that OS, because it is going to be key for victory going forward. That OS so powerful now. HCS did put it in the hyperbolic time chamber, and it has ascended and is much more powerful now, Hoots.
Yeah, I think that actually might have been Swayz that had it. He was dropped eventually, but I think I did see someone from Divine Mind rushing past with the fluoro shield. So I think he managed to put it in, and that's why we are seeing Divine Mind now scooting out to a bit of a lead in this second hill. So Chiefs really need to start making something happen quite soon. We do see a pick up here on Madsy. He manages to grab 2, so great work from Madsy there. He is able now to get in. We have 3 stacking into the hill, although a nade did pretty heavily impact 2 of them. Nice use of the drop ball there from Madsy as well. Thinking they're coming down from long haul. They're actually starting to spawn garage and brute. So Chiefs are in a good position here to put on a fair bit of a point spree. We do have Pips and Swayz starting to come in to say something different about that. Nice nade from Swayz there coming in. Pips as well popping in. They get the trade out, but that is only 1 down for Chiefs, 2 down for Divine Mind. So Chiefs doing a really good job of holding this one, and they are out to a little bit of a lead on this hill. So Beastn now just putting shots on Plasma down there near the OS, and they still do have someone in the hill racking up time. So I think they're going to be able to put this one in, Justin. They needed to do that. They didn't look like they were making too many inroads on this hill, but they've had a massive chunk of it now, and they will take this second point as that hill goes away and we move over to garage now.
They certainly are performing very well, Hoots, and this is what you want to see in a grand final situation, isn't it? Both these high-tier teams going at it, and the Chiefs, they're in a bit of a rough spot at the moment. They do need to win a few more series if they want to reset this bracket and move into a second best of 5. He's Raided, putting in a lot of damage, but Beastn has something to say about that with a double kill for himself and putting the Chiefs boys back into this game. It is 1 hill apiece, Hoots, and he can smell the blood in the water. He's trying to find that player. Does find him a little bit close, and that OS is now on the board. I wonder who managed to scoop that one up. Hopefully we'll be able to switch over to see what they can achieve with that new power up. But now on board with Pips, just checking out, seeing how things are going, looking at the garage, noticing that his car isn't in the garage at the moment, must be out at the mechanics getting a service. And here comes the push from the Chiefs. Madsy just popping his head for a moment, checking things out, but he gets taken down. 2 kills in the kill feed in favor of Divine Mind. They seem pretty confident to be able to take this hill as well, and Swayz has got that sniper, and he's just moving across grass pretty confidently. Madsy out-BRing him in that situation there to take him out. It gets rewarded with a sniper. It's only got a couple of bullets. He does get taken down instantly by Pips. Pips cops a grenade to the feet and does go down. We're dropping players left and right here, folks, and we do have Divine Mind. They are up 1 hill so far in this King of the Hill.
Yeah, Divine Mind took that garage hill just almost completely uncontested. It was way too easy, and this one's going to be a different situation. I think we're going to see a bit more of a scrap here on this one, given that it is in such an open part of the map, and we do see Pips just running straight in here, pushing, I think it was Madsy out of the hill, and 4 dead for a second there for Chiefs. So Divine Mind really starting to turn it on here as well. They captured the previous point super easily, and they're starting to move in now on this OS one as well while they're out slaying. Still racking up time here, even though Swayz is copying shots right near the hill. They've still got it. Look at the whole time. The hill icon there is in blue. Who's sitting in there? I can't actually see there on this heads-up display, but the whole time it looks like it's Pips who's been racking up hill time the whole time and still alive, somehow managing to keep Madsy contested in this hill. They don't trade somehow despite the massive explosion, so Chiefs keep them off it a little bit. Swayz going for that OS, isn't able to pick it up. In fact, I think it's going to go to Chiefs if you just look at who's around it right now. So BZIIRK manages to put it in. They have got a bit of time here. They need to bring back a little bit because Divine Mind still do have a slight lead on this hill, but this OS is really huge for BZIIRK to be able to stay in it, absorb some shots, but keep racking up time while Divine Mind don't really push him. They're just putting shots in from a distance, but look at him. He's just able to stay in, move around, be a nuisance, and because of this OS single-handedly, Justin, I think they're probably going to capture this point.
Yeah, doing so well. BZIIRK utilized that OS to perfection, and you know, that area is a bit of a grenade magnet, right? It's very hard to stay alive, but when you're just copying splash damage and a few little peak shots every now and then, you can, that OS just lasts for forever and a day. And now we are all tied up 2-2 in this King of the Hill series. Pips, he does copy a grenade and goes down. Now on board with Slayz, finding one, takes him down, moving through that hill, already being contested up there, top mid. Slayz goes down, raided with that fresh sniper rifle, doesn't manage to connect on one of those shots. They're desperately trying to stay alive. He does not want to give that power weapon over, waiting for his shields. Doesn't manage to connect with the jump. It's all good. It's all good. We know it's a hard jump. It's okay. Sometimes you know, you can't perform under pressure. It's pretty common. Now, raided. He still has that sniper rifle up top. There, lands the headshot. Double kills. Killing spree for him. And moving in. So much confidence to move through. You've got to get in the hill if you want to capture it. That's how the game works, raided. But he seems to be showing up for his squad, highlighting his kills. 24 and 12. Raided going massive.
Yeah, absolutely massive. Good job of just staying alive there and being a nuisance while his teammates rack up time in this hill. They're almost halfway there to securing this 3rd point. Keep in mind, like we said, Justin, we are going to first to 4, but look at the game timer as well. 1:14 left, and given how scrappy a lot of these hills have been, there is a strong chance we might not get to the end of this game. So this next hill could be the thing that decides who actually walks away with this one. Obviously, the timer doesn't go down when people are occupying the hill, similar to Oddball, but we do have Swayz here just being a nuisance, running around with this snipe, and all the while Divine Mind really starting to put hill time on. So if they can jump up 3-2 here, which you think they would because the Chiefs haven't been able to put too much time into this particular hill, this could be it. So they are now back in. They're about to capture this 3rd point, and geez, they only need one more to go with 1:11 left on the clock as this new hill spawn comes in.
Yeah, now on board with Pips and Divine Mind. They are up 1. doing so well at the moment. Chiefs are definitely on the back foot. It's only 1 kill difference at the moment, but they've got to be feeling that pressure. Divine Mind, they're very comfortable at the moment, and they have been this entire series. They just seem to be playing Halo how they want to play it, and Pips now capturing this hill area. They only need, I'm going to call it, if they manage to grab this one, it might be all she wrote for the Chiefs guys. Pips does go down. Here comes the Chiefs push, taking those players out. Raided down bottom mid, desperately trying to keep them off that hill, Hoots, and now rotating around the map. He has got that needler in the back pocket. It is interesting. Maybe some body disrespect is coming. Slayz taking him down. It's like a little bit too early, Sunshine. You haven't won just yet. And Slayz with those cross-map shots, he does go down. And, you know, players are falling left and right again. BZIIRK, shields are flashing, trying to stay alive, staying in that hill. He does fall as well.
All dead
moving on to
momentarily.
Pip. And here he is, just last man standing, last one alive. That was so hectic. And then we just switch to Pips, and it's kind of like, where is everybody?
I mean, the question is, like in an oddball where you want to actually let time go away, what did Divine Mind do in this situation? I mean, they're close to rounding this one out. There's only 37 seconds left. I think they do want to stay in and try and just capture this 4th point and put it to bed, especially when they're out slaying them like they are right now. 3 down for the Chiefs. We're not having much movement here coming from Pips, but I think that's just Pips doing what he does.
He's scratching his arm again, I'm telling you.
He's
if
killing
he was
me.
streaming, you just go to him and he's just scratching his
the whole
giant
time
arms.
the whole time I was watching that, they end up getting the final cap. I just completely started panicking, thinking we were going to have a restart. But Justin, for the first time, we say Divine Mind take out the final game, they take out the championship, and they win our Pro Series 6, Luke. It's a long time coming. They've been up there, but big claps all around. Throat gang, if I can get some claps in the chat. Fantastic work from Divine Mind to be able to close that one out.
Yeah, pretty dominant fashion, I think, as well here from the lads of Divine Mind. And this is really a bit of a monkey off the back for some of those players as well, right? It's been a long time coming for some of these players to be able to get themselves a dub. Another day in the office for Pips, I think, though. It's just another tournament victory underneath his belt. He says, oh, yeah, that's okay. Another HCS Pro Series. I'll take
Pips
one of
don't
those.
lose.
He
don't
doesn't
lose, bro.
Unfortunately, he was on, those previous rosters of Divine Mind when they did lose at the start. But now being able to...
He don't lose, bro.
He comes back to his winning ways when it comes to Pro Series nonetheless. Raided had a very, very big game in that final map. They're dropping over 30 kills to finish it off. And the way that they played throughout this series, it felt like it was always the Chiefs just trying to clamber for a bit of control, especially on this King of the Hill. There were so many frantic moments, but as you guys were saying perfectly, after a couple of those caps, it really started to balloon out a little bit, right, Justin? Because we saw that there was just so much control for Divine Mind that even in the final moments there, Pips was untouched. He just knew that the rest of his members were able to do a whole boatload of work, and we saw it on the previous Chiefs roster, and now we're seeing it here on Divine Mind. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty. He's not afraid to be the man who plays these objective game modes when he has players like Swayz popping off so hard on every single one of these maps that it just feels like that these guys are in a next level form.
Yeah, next level form. And speaking of next level form, rated. Oh my God, what a rise to power from that young man. He's been an underrated player in the scene for such a long time, and to see him top fragging in a grand final situation against some of the best in the region, it's just lovely to see new players rising to power. And, you know, when you have, you know, Swayz, Plasma, and Raided were all putting up big numbers. They were just kind of taking turns. It's like, hey, bro, your turn to get a 30 bomb. And there was Pips just like getting stupid amounts of assists every single game as well. Just as you say, getting in there, dirty work, no gloves, just like straight into the compost, just getting the gardening done.